And here's the news. Hello everybody, welcome to Cup of Tech. Today we've got a few news pieces to get on with. First of all, let's cross over to Jeff to talk about Google Maps. Thanks very much, Jeff. Just a quick update about Google Maps. Now, Google Maps was released last week for iOS device, which was a huge change. One of the things I wanted to quickly mention was that within 48 hours of that being released and subsequently me announcing it to the world that it had been released, 10 million downloads in 48 hours. Now, that is a phenomenal effort. And you know what? I'm sitting in my car here reporting to you and can say that it's definitely working. The reason being is that I'm stuck in a lot more traffic, and I think that's because people who are going from point A into the city are now being directed on the proper road that they're meant to be on. And there's a lot of them. So that's the traffic report, as well as a quick Google Maps update. Back to you, Jeff. Well, you're not wrong there. This week there's been some drama around Instagram. I'm going to put you through to Jeff and he's going to tell you all about it. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Just wanted to give a quick little update. There was obviously some new terms of service which came out from Instagram this week. Now there's a lot of drama, people deleting their accounts, people getting all sorts of crazy saying, I don't want my Instagram pictures being, sold and whatnot and stuff like that. Now I just want to sort of really try and clarify a little bit of it for you guys as well. What Instagram is doing is what Facebook has already done in the past. Now for advertisers who are interested in getting their brands in front of people on Instagram, they're going to be able to do a sponsored post or a sponsored picture which will appear in your feed and will also show you if your other friends already follow that brand on Instagram. And by doing that, they're going to display your avatar. Now that's what they're really talking about when they're saying we're going to use your images and things like that, and everyone's freaking out about it. That's what it's really going to be. It's going to see a picture of you that XYZ person already likes, Samsung for example, and you can follow them as well. So it's just to give you that little bit of emotion connection saying, oh, my friends really like that brand, maybe I should as well. And that's just advertising. It already happens on Facebook and it's now coming to Instagram. Surprise, surprise, Facebook bought Instagram. So I think the drama is a bit of a storm in a teacup, but you know what? If you're going to participate in Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and other apps like that, and you're worried about privacy, if you're really that worried about privacy, then don't be on social networking sites. Social networking is the exact same thing as going outside, talking to friends. Yeah, other people are going to see you talking to your friends. You may be caught in another person's picture. These things happen. It's part of being exposed. By being on social networks, you are now exposed. If you don't like it, leave. If you do love it, keep sharing these amazing pictures and use the Heffy filter. Back to you, Jeff. That's the social media update. The funny part is that people think that they take good photos on Instagram and that people would actually want them. The Sydney Morning Herald created some drama for me, especially this week, and I'm going to cross over to Jeff if he's there and he can tell us all about it. Yeah, thanks for that, Jeff. Now, it's interesting news today from, well, I read it on the Sydney Morning Herald website, but actually was originally posted on Mashable. Now, it's an article saying that these leaked images of the new Blackberry 10 smartphone, known as the L series, is emulating the iPhone 5. Now, their grounds on this is based on the fact that it has a rectangular touchscreen with a black bezel around it. Now, that is a lot like the iPhone, you're right, it really is. In fact, it's a lot like a lot of phones. I'm going to almost guess that BlackBerry has copied everybody. In fact, going back to the past, it's even got a phone function, and that's copying somebody as well. So you know what? Big problem there, BlackBerry, you guys copied everybody in that one. One of the interesting things was that the article said that the phone was off, so they couldn't show what the operating system looked like. And that's going to be really tricky too, because there's so many dev devices out there which BlackBerry's been giving out and actually demonstrating the operating system so much already that with the device being off, how could you actually ever see it? I mean, Google search it? I don't know. So really interesting. Wanted to highlight that one because that's an interesting topic. I also read that Lamborghini is actually bringing out a new car, and apparently it's got 4 wheels and 2 doors. Now this is an exclusive because apparently 4 wheels and 2 doors, they're emulating Ferrari now. Breaking news. Back to you, Jeff. Bye. Doing your research pays. Or it doesn't, in my case. This week we have something to give you for free. Check this out. Roll the tape. Jeff, thank you very much for that. Now, just quickly, I have a bit of an announcement, actually a giveaway for you, the viewers. Parallels. You might remember, those who have been watching my show for quite a while, Parallels is a piece of software that people install on their Mac computers when they want to run Windows. So, you know, people who go out and buy an Apple Mac computer and then realize that there's certain applications that they used to use on Windows that they would love to wish that they could run still and aren't available for Mac. So you put Parallels software on the computer, and then you're actually able to install Windows within a little virtual environment. And it's so simple and so easy that when you actually use the software, you kind of realize that this is too easy to run both operating systems on one computer. Really, really handy. There are a lot of applications out there which aren't available for Mac, and you do need Windows still for that, but why should you have to have two computers? So, I've got a piece of that software to give away. They've kindly given me a copy, so you can have it. All I need you to do is tell me in the comments why. Why do you want it? What application do you actually plan on running on your Mac computer to install and to use Parallels? And I'll give it to the best answer. I will give it away in next week's show. So very simple. I'm not even going to make it hard. No 25 words or less. No fancy mumbo jumbo. Just give me a decent answer and it's yours. Simple as that. Make sure you do it. Back to you, Jeff. Thank you very much. For this last piece, let's cross over quickly right now to Jeff, our man on the ground. Looks like we might have a bit of trouble there. It almost, unless I'm going deaf. In fact, speaking of that, speaking of deafness and people who are hard of hearing, an interesting thing which I saw this week was an application that was developed, and it's called OpenMyTours. And one of the interesting things was, and something I've always taken for granted, is that I do video work here. Now, if you were deaf, you wouldn't have a clue what I'm saying. If you use the YouTube annotations, they're really poor as well, so that's not going to help anybody either. But OpenMy have created this thing for people who are hard of hearing, and they actually go to museums and things like that. So what happens is, you add the app on your phone, and as you get to each exhibit, so say for example the Mona Lisa, there would be a little plaque which has the OpenMy symbol and a little QR code. You would take your phone, scan the QR code, and then on screen you would have a gentleman, or a lady even, giving you the sign, I can't do it, but giving you sign language to actually experience the tour and understand what's going on. With that, you'll also have text at the bottom, and there's also an audio part to it as well, and I think that is really, really cool. And something which I'm kind of proud to see people doing. It was developed within Australia as well, which is another big plus, which is kind of cool. You know, there are so many fart apps and so much crap on each app store, whichever platform you look at. And it's really nice to actually see something being developed like this, and it's a huge credit. I mean, I'm not deaf, thankfully, and I can't imagine if I was, it'd be really hard. So I think something like this is really, really good for anybody to still be able to experience the same tour that that everybody else gets, and I think that's really cool. So kudos on that one. If you do know someone who is hard of hearing, pass on that app. It could come in handy a lot. Well guys, new cup, kind of cool, bit of a thumb on it, like coffee, which I do, and need, because I need to get through these things. It is Christmas time. I won't do another cup of tech until after Christmas now, so Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. If you don't, enjoy the day off and enjoy the roads, how quiet they'll be and stuff like that, and do whatever else you need to do. Have a great Christmas, enjoy the break, and I won't see you in the new year, I'll see you before that, so I'll probably do a video on the 27th. So yeah, it's not over. 2012 is still going. That's if we survived the end of the world thing and stuff like that. But if you're seeing this video, that means you did. Congratulations. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Bye.